Tony T, yes, Ramon SEO. To the double TV funnel in these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing out. It's plain to see. The morning team is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game. It's sort of a freight train. It's been reported bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and listen to the picks. And it goes along something like this.
And a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com. I'm Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam for Friday, January 19th. We're ready to head into the NFL weekend division play. I wish it was today. We don't have much of a card, but we'll preview the action today in the NBA, NHL, and I've selected 4 college basketball games to look at. Can we keep it under 2 hours? Today might be the day. We can keep it as short as you want. I know that. Thanks for joining me today. We'll talk a little bit here about what's going on. If you got anything, I mean, I don't know. It was all about college basketball pretty much, I thought, last night, despite, having a big card in the NHL and some NBA action as well. But we're also ready to roll with the big games, man. I just can't stop thinking about it and talking about it. But still got a little over 24 hours ago before we get started on the big games. Waiting also on coaching news, I guess. Can Bill Belichick really end up in Atlanta? What's Dallas doing? You got to wonder. Tomlin, for once in his life, wants some attention on him. Look at me, look at me. He'll stay with Pittsburgh, of course. And the Eagles will revamp their coaching staff, it looks like, as well, and continue to roll there. Great to have you guys here for a day of action. Let's say hello to some folks in the chat. What were your headlines from yesterday? Seeing that these conference races in college basketball starting to take shape. I'm not talking about necessarily the big conferences after yesterday's action, right? We want to take a look at those smaller conferences and what's going on there. How about Memphis? They lost yesterday after leading by 20, and they had their 10-game winning streak snapped. North Texas, the slowest team in the country, they lead the American at this point. Colorado, they rocked Oregon and snapped the win streak of the Ducks. Ducks still lead the Pac-12, a game ahead of Arizona and Arizona State. Gonzaga, they rocked Pepperdine. San Francisco wins. They're atop the conference. UC Irvine, that great defense, wins in the Big West yesterday. Illinois rocked Michigan in the Big Ten. Wisconsin on top of the conference there. Let's see who's here today. Appreciate you guys stopping by. And we'll see what the big games are. One postponement to talk about in NBA. The Warriors game will be postponed here against Dallas today. I think we all know that by now. And didn't announce it yesterday. I didn't know yesterday that the University of San Diego game against Portland, the game had been canceled nearly 24 hours in advance. And books had that game up very, very late into the betting cycle. By the time I kind of caught wind of it, I didn't know when we went on the air that the game had been postponed, and apparently nobody did, other than the schools and the immediate programs and maybe some media and things like that. They sent out tweets and everything. By the time I caught wind of it, it was probably a couple hours after the show. Another great host mentioned the game was postponed. I looked at it. The women's game had been postponed as well, I believe. And the men's game had been postponed. Books continued to take action on the San Diego Portland game all day long, like they didn't even know. I even sent a tweet out that said, "Hey, wow, books are still taking on this action. Game looks like it's been postponed." And I look back, I said, "Well, maybe it's the women's game. Maybe I am wrong for once." But sure enough, the game was totally postponed nearly 21 hours in advance of the start of the game. And books were taking bets as late as, I believe, just a couple of hours before they finally announced, maybe just 2 hours or so, that they had caught wind of it. So that was just really strange. We give these books a lot of credit, right? For always being on top of it, balancing the action. Who has 70% of this and 50% of that? I don't think they're paying that much. There's a lot of algorithm work, right? You can take advantage of some situations. Uh, Hello, everyone. That was not one of them, but I'm just saying they're not fully, 100%. I'm talking about looking at the line services too. That was almost should be embarrassing. Should be embarrassed, actually. I almost am. That's not even my responsibility. All right, everybody. Nice to see coming in here was Gerardo talking about the soccer action. I'm watching Cape Verde and Mozambique right now in the African Cup of Unders. Hasn't been that way, but I'm not going to change calling it that until really. And we'll see. I mean, don't forget, we're in the group stage here. So you do have some, yeah, we've seen some of the better teams. I don't know what you want to call them in the African Cup of Nations. Better teams. I mean, it's still a tournament. You're going to have better teams and worse teams. So you might have a little more scoring. I would imagine once we get to the knockout stage, we'll be getting back to the African Cup of Unders here. So thank you, Gerardo, for all your work in the Discord. Check us out in there. And we got a few people fired up today for some action, but we really could use more contributions in there, and I could do a better job as well. But do have other action today: Senegal and Cameroon, also Guinea and Gambia. Gambia might be the worst. Gerardo in the tournament. Also, action in La Liga today, and Mexico tonight will be in action. 3 games from Mexico, including Cruz Azul and Juarez, San Luis and Pumas tonight. As well. All right, we got Kenny Jackson here today. Perky, we put him to bed early last night. And where is Perky? And big pools. Look at this. We got some winners tonight, Perky, and in college basketball, even on this short card. And we'll talk about 4 games right now I've selected. If you want to get ready, St. Peter's and Fairfield, Akron and Kent, Indiana and Wisconsin, UNLV and Colorado State are the 4 games that I've selected that seem to have a little bit of conference impact, kind of a closely rated spreads. And we'll see elsewhere. Kind of left that early game alone, but maybe you want to talk about that. Bruce Green, hello. There's Gerardo's pick right now. There's 15 minutes into the game here. Cape Verde. He's going in the African Cup of Unders. Take a look at that. He's got Cape Verde to win live here over Mozambique and under 2.5. So you can ride with us. That pays $2.50 and says quarter unit. Whatever you guys want to play, but hey, if you want to sweat out a little action here of that game, by the way, if you want to watch while we're on the air here, is on beIN Sports. All right, Thomas is here, Poppy is here as well.
Final.
And Exodus at Alabama. I don't know where they're going to go, though, Jason, right? I mean, you got one of the hottest coaches coming in. I mean, why wouldn't things continue to roll for Alabama and Tuscaloosa, right? I mean, look, yes, maybe some, will leave or whatever, and, you don't have coach, but Alabama's did what you're supposed to do, and that's replace, if you're going to replace a legend, you might as well get the hottest coaching prospect. If it doesn't work out, hey, you did, but you tried. You did what you needed to do. So, you know what I'm saying? And Jeff Schramm, hello. Timmy Two Shoe, hello. Getting ready for Houston. Boy, I want to talk about it today, but Ray having the weather. Russell, hello. Poppy didn't know what was going on with that situation either. I tweeted it out and then I removed the tweet because I'm like, maybe I am wrong. I always trust these line services. Maybe they put out the tweet. I went to both teams. This is how the type of work that I do. I mean, I'm not any more special than you guys, a show down the street, across the street. This is just how I operate. So I went to both athletic departments' websites to the basketball page, right there where it said on both of them, our game has been postponed. That's what it said in Portland. It's icy conditions, apparently. I don't know if it was and then USD's website. We have postponed our game with Portland. Okay, that's as legitimate as it gets. And then nobody canceled it. But I saw like the total light up, and I'm like, what's going on here? All right, Berkey. I thought you went to bed, man. You left us last night. You said, I'm out of here. Well, maybe you didn't go to sleep. Okay. Justin's already blessing us with his play of the day. He likes Brooklyn tonight in their matchup. Thank you, my friend. They're up against the Lakers, everybody. CTG here today. Good morning. And Gerardo says, please stop by tonight. Get that late Mexico action. Look, there's not going to be a lot of sports going on late. You want to add Mexico. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. I know we try to stay in the, big international European leagues, but salty. All right. Let's head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and see who did well, and then we'll start our previews on our short show. What can I say? Don't have a lot of action today. We're going to go to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at the hot cappers over the last 24 hours and see who they are. I had just a 50-50 night yesterday, I think, or I had a lot of plays, but couldn't put together a big winner. Let's take a look here at Tony'sPicks.com and see who the hot handicappers were over there. It's Pravi Samba Murdy with a 78% day. Really strong for Pravi. He goes 7-2 on the day. EPA Sports, NBA with EPA Sports. You get full coverage. That's why you see the high volume every game that they put a rating out on. You do get it with their package. So if you're into the high volume, you need opinions on every game, you can listen to me, or you can go to EPA Sports. Nick Lagaretos, a perfect 3-0. This time for Nick, Jerry Lewis, 6-3 here on the site. Nick Vartini wins both of his games. Ruben Marlborough, come to Marlborough country, 4-2 yesterday. Chauncey Giles, another day, another winner. Tony's Picks, VIP, 1-0. Two old ladies that bet, consensus, 2-1. Tony T, 2-1 day, good job. Ron Crawford, 3-2 as well, and Ralph Raymond. For the last 7 days over at Tony'sPicks.com, well, it's Nick Lagaretos, 21-5-1. He has been hot here for Nick over the last 7 days. Mark Butterscotch Eubanks, 40-23. Good job, Butterscotch. Joseph Schultz coming in with a real strong percentage here, over 70%, and up nearly a dime over the last 7 days. Over the last 30 days, Butterscotch on top, nearly 30 units of profit, 29.16 for Mark Eubanks. Gene got picks. He's up 23 3/4 units. Nick Lagaretos, Joseph Schultz, and Ron Crawford. Check out our premium picks over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all of our premium pick packages. Check out our best bets from the crew over at Tony'sPicks.com, including Ben Ruhala here on Friday. He's got his Friday Fiesta with his NBA top play for just $15. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout, save 20% off all premium pick packages. Click on the All Cappers tab. There you can find the handicappers. Find the handicapper of your choice. Click on their handicapper profile page, and that's how you get signed up. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot. And we'll have a strong day. I'm going to be pretty active in the premiums, even on this short card. Probably have an NBA package, maybe an NHL play, and some college as well over at Tony'sPicks.com. Hopefully, going to give you some free winners up and down the network here today, including, let's see, Jason, I don't know what the Discord name is. I think it's Tony's Picks. Yeah, I think that's what it is, Tony's Picks. But the invite is right there at the top. And then once you get to Tony's Picks, choose Morning Steam. That's where I put all of my information. But no one else is in the disc. None of the other handicappers are doing the same things that I'm doing, quite frankly. All right. I appreciate you guys stopping by. We get started with the show, start with the NBA, and get rolling here. I mean, you don't even see these people on camera. You know what I'm talking about. All right, let's roll today. Other than Tony, let's take a look here at the games with the card in the NBA. We've got a 7-game card now. With that cancellation, the Warriors are going to take another little bit of time to mourn the passing of their friend and coach. And we'll start off with a little rematch here, right? A little game with the with the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Charlotte Hornets today to get our card started. Can't roll them all perfect here with the Spurs and the Hornets, but these two teams will open up the card on Friday night with the Hornets here trying to get things rolling right now, the way things are going. Spurs actually had a decent effort last time out, certainly. Here we go, just about set for our games today.
Steam play.
I'm just getting rolling here, you guys, actually. Wouldn't say that I didn't spend a huge amount of time on the show prep today, but maybe we kept it about 75 minutes in our short card and the big Saturday action, college basketball, and get that NFL rolling. All right, here we go. Charlotte comes in with 8 wins currently right now. They are off of a 132-112 loss in their last out against New Orleans. They're on a pretty big losing streak right now. They're maybe getting it back together a little bit with LaMelo Ball having returned to action recently, but nothing's changed at this point for the Hornets. They're not winning. They're not covering. They're 2-7-1 against the spread in their last 10 games, 13-23 against the spread overall. But they are favored here in this one. As a favorite this season for the Charlotte Hornets, they're 0-3 against the spread. All 3 times they've been favored, they've lost. Spurs are actually covering a few numbers here of late. We talked about, some good efforts, right? They were able to get some wins recently over this Charlotte team. It was 135-99. They crushed Charlotte at home last Friday. So since then, they have lost 3 straight games. But nonetheless, the Spurs are getting the points here against the Hornets. They've covered 6 of their last 10 games. They failed 2 straight, lost 3 straight, and failed in the last 2 games. They did get a cover at Chicago by a half a point. 122 to 116. All right. Injuries are the key here in this game right now, and that's why maybe you see the line. I don't know, maybe the line moving a little bit, but we already know that Victor Wembanyama is out of this game as just a rest day for Victor. So he will be out. Maybe that's why one reason. But Charlotte's moved. The line's moved here to 4. Um, no, I don't expect a change of Wembanyama's status, but the totals dipped here to 235. I imagine there could be some impact early that bettors are starting to get a feel for the fact that Victor is out of this game. Zach Collins, uh, he's upgraded to questionable. He's been out for a little bit, so that's pretty good. Charlotte has certainly some concerns as well with some of their players out of this game, and maybe that's why. Maybe that's why the line is moving. So I don't know. Can't really spend too much on this one, can we? See what you guys got here. Maybe CTG goes under. Here comes our Thompson on the Spurs. Hornets bounce back for Russell. Brent says his numbers show that the Spurs can still get it done. Matt's going under. Can't disagree there. It might be my play right now. But Rich says over Hornets money line and the Spurs cover. All right. Brent says it's a trash can game. It may be in this one, once we get to the baseball season, we'll just have to put some of the games aside. All right. We can continue to take a look. I don't know if I'm going to mess with the side just yet. Give me the under in this one. It's already been moving here from a high of it was as high as 238.5 at one point at PointsBet. And then it's hit all the way down here now to 235 or so. So I'll take the under here with the Spurs and the Hornets. And we'll just move on. And you guys got your opinions in on this one. Let's get a decent game here. I think it's a decent game for sure. With the 76ers on the road against the Magic. 76ers favored here by 5.5. Total 221.5. Much better matchup. And much better teams with the Magic. Man, they're just having a pretty good run here of late. 22 victories. Philly's got just 26 victories. When you compare these two teams, makes things kind of interesting, but I don't know the matchup. I want to try to make a case here for Orlando, but man, the matchup looks pretty good for Philly, and looks like maybe they're ready to take things seriously again after a 3-game winning streak right now, and they've covered 3 in a row, beating teams like Denver, like Houston, like Sacramento. Those are decent teams. They can't all be the best, and those teams are okay for sure. So Sixers looking good here of late. Now those were all at home. This is on the road now. That was a 3-game winning streak. They won and covered them all. Now they got to go on the road to an Orlando team that's 13-5 against the spread at home. They did lose their last outing against Atlanta on the road, but they did get the number as a 4.5-point dog, and they also won before that at New York. They were on a little bit of a losing streak before that, but Philadelphia, still a terrific favorite, no matter how you look at it, home, away, no matter what. When Philly's favored, 75% covers this year for the Sixers. That's really outstanding to me. That kind of puts you in the category of, we already know they're a championship contender, but when I'm looking at teams that are covering big numbers as a favorite, that always stands out in my mind, especially if they can do it on the road too. They are 10-7 against the spread on the road. That's not as good as Orlando is at home. Orlando, underrated defense, certainly, and that's kind of why I think we've seen so much improvement from Orlando this season, and they play a lot of unders. Orlando's 10-18-1 to the under as an underdog this season. They've also gone under in 7 of their last 10 games. Now, Philadelphia has been a pretty strong over team this season, 24-15 to the over, 11-6 to the over on the road. In contrast to the Magic 7-11 move mark to the under at home. So a little bit of contrast. But of late, the Sixers have been playing a few unders during this stretch. Now, 2 of the 3 on that homestand were over, but before that, they had some unders of late. Your picks might be coming in here, and here's Brent with his simulation coming in. Has the Sixers able to win this one by 10 on the road in an over? And Perky says, this matchup here is the biggest concern to him right now, and who basically Embiid up against Batadze, and that does seem like a pretty rugged matchup, certainly. But like I said, no doubt, I think Orlando underrated defensively. And let's see, percent better, Philly all day. That's kind of the way I'm even looking at it here. It feels like Orlando's certainly the type of home dog that I look for, first glance, if you will, pardon the expression. Maybe the Magic are starting to give it back here a little bit of late. They had that losing streak, but they have covered 2 in a row. R. Tomps likes the over. Russell says blowout. Man, you guys are on blowout in this blowout mode with the Sixers today. All right. Well, I kind of want to look. I'm going to take the under in this one, you guys, at 221. Yeah, 221. This one could be up to 5.5 a little bit here. 221. Ken says go over. Don't do it, Ramon. Go over. I think I just went under. All right. Timmy says he might have it a blowout. Hello to Crystal. Thank you for stopping by as always. Great to hang out with you in the chat rooms around sports betting. And Russell has it a big, big night for Embiid. All right. Yeah, definitely talking about some of the winners from last night. Who had them, who didn't in last night's action. We had some winners on the show here. We had the Chicago Bulls. We had a premium pick winner with the Indiana Pacers last night. Also, let's see. Oh, you guys are talking about the winners from last night. Great. All right. Yeah, Pacers and Kings. We had a winner there on the over. I'll take the under here, you guys. All right. Here we go. Thank you, Salty, for stopping by. All right, next up, I've got the Nuggets here and the Celtics. This is the big one on Friday night. If there's any matchup right now for all the other teams, there's no doubt. I think these two, even with some of the teams in the West that are starting to pop up, I mean, this is it. This is the anticipated finals preview. Maybe you don't have Denver there right now, but it's still going to be hard to buck the champs. I would think at this point. You figure they'll be there and they'll kind of be there in the end. So we'll see, though, when the Celtics are favored here tonight by 6.5, maybe even 7 now. This line continues to go up total is 234, 233 and a half or so right now coming into this one. Note the time change, 7:40 Eastern, 4:40 Pacific. Porzingis is probable here for Boston. Aaron Gordon's had a shoulder injury. He's probable. Looks pretty good on the injury report for this game coming in. And you got for the Celtics, they are 13-7 against the spread at home, laying numbers certainly all the time. Denver, dreadful on the road, actually. Big contrast, just the opposite, really, of Boston coming in with a 7-14 record against the spread on the road. Denver off of the loss against Philadelphia, 126-121, is a 1.5 point favorite. Now you're 6.5 point underdog here. Before that, they beat Indiana, they beat New Orleans. Boston on a 3-game winning streak right now, wins over Houston, Toronto, and San Antonio. They covered them all, including double digits in 2 of those games. Obviously, the big matchup here against the Denver Nuggets. These 2 teams met last year on New Year's Day, but that was the last time they met over a calendar year. Denver won 123-111. Boston had been on a bit of a winning streak against Denver for these non-conference opponents. Get your comments now. Denver 8-12, 8-12-1 against the spread, 8-12-1 to the under on the road. But as an underdog, just 2-2 over under. Let's see what you got, you guys. Percent better says big game from Aaron Gordon here today. Look, Denver played, statistically great defense up and down the line. They just, something amiss on the road, right? Thomas says, don't forget Boston 20-0 at home right now. Brent's got it as a cover. Joker's going to go. Russell says, we've seen Joker, right? I mean, kind of flaky a little bit sometimes, right? Oh, we got plenty of comments here of late. I don't want to call him flaky. I'm just trying to lost his temper a little bit a few times this season. Celtics, Justin on the Celtics. Jason's got him also. Okay. And let's see. I think that might be it from you guys. Hello. Oh, Rich is here. He's got under in the Denver game. Under, and Denver gives the Celtics their first home loss. So that looks like Denver and under. Denver 17-24 to the under this season. And Russell says they're bad on the road. Jeff Schramm, Boston at home. Kenny Jackson says Celtics, but that line has him the most worried. I don't know. I think Denver's poor road record. The game, you want to win them all. But I think Boston, I feel like it's Boston for me. And I'm going to take the Boston Celtics here to win and cover the inflated number tonight, 6.5. Circa is all the way up to 7 at this point. So is Bovada, 7 minus 105. So grade me at 7. I got to make it a little bit challenging. We already said it was probably as low as 5 on. I saw a 5 opener. Points bet opened at 4.5. So already a 2-point increase here on the line. And Poppy said, let's review this one once again with those Nuggies. And we're going to go against those Nuggies today. I'll take the Celtics to win and cover. want to almost go premium, but just, you want to give the Nuggets a chance of maybe it is an inflated, so slightly inflated spread right now. So, all right. And don't forget, I don't want to keep bringing it up. It's just bummer to talk about. Uh, Maybe there is a sidebar, an emotional angle to the situation regarding the Warriors with this game. The man who, did pass away, is described in most of the articles as the true mentor, or one of them anyway. A man who definitely had influence and impact uh, um, in Nikola Jokic's um, development, in his professional development as a basketball player. So Mr. Jokic has lost his good personal close friend. I mean, really, I don't think I'm putting too much. I might not be putting enough emphasis on it. You can see, Jokic tweeted about it, showed him the pictures with him, a man he's worked with. Let's just say, I'm not calling him his, uncle or anything like that. But they're playing with a heavy heart, no doubt, and I believe it is. Let me make sure here on that. Uh, Playing for the first time since his friend's passing, maybe could be inspired. So, Thomas, prayers up to you, sir. Um, Prayers to you, Thomas. Thank you. Love you very much for you coming here every day, and prayers to your family as well. Thomas Lewis, thank you so much for sharing your memory of your brother. Thank you. Okay. And all right, I'll continue on here, and just thank you so much. And, all right, I'll take the the Celtics here in this one. Celtics for me. All right. All right. Next up, let's move on now with the Suns taking on the Pelicans here. Another decent game here with the Pelicans favored by, says 2.5 on screen, but I'm showing down to 1.5 now. 1.5 and maybe up to 237. So see a little bit of move here right now on the Suns this morning. Here against the Pelicans. Pelicans come in with a 25-17 record currently. Phoenix 22-18. Still a lot of optimism in Phoenix right now with their little resurgence here of late, getting Beal back into the lineup. He certainly looked good, no question. Suns are on a 3-game winning streak now. They were laying maybe a few too many points to Portland. They won by 11. We're laying 14. Didn't cover. They didn't cover against the Kings last time out either. But going to head on the road and be an underdog here. New Orleans, pretty terrific against the spread at home, 13-8 ATS, 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games, and 24-17 against the spread overall. So a good roll certainly here for the Pelicans. The total here rising, continuing to rise at 230. Well, let's we call it 237. It's gone down a little bit. I'm showing 236 right now at Bovada. So maybe there's a little bit of draw to the under. I don't know if I'm too into that, actually. I kind of thought this would be an over situation tonight. What do you guys think here? New Orleans is off a blistering performance over the Charlotte Hornets. They scored 132 points in that one as a 12-point favorite, and they did get the money. They lost against Dallas at Dallas in that one, 125-120. I believe that was a Luka-less Dallas, right? Because New Orleans was favored in that game on the road. That was that second of that little back-to-back thing they had in that game. So these two teams have not met yet this season. So we'll see what happens when the Suns take on the Pelicans here tonight. New Orleans definitely pretty sharp at home. That's the way I might want to look. What do you guys got? Take a look. And thank you for all of your wishes for Thomas's family. Everyone in the chat, just a lot of great, real classy. You guys, really nice job in there, making our friend feel the love this morning. Thank you. All right. And Russell says, don't forget how bad the Suns are against the spread. Yeah, I agree with this. I agree with that, certainly, Russell. But I think it is also safe to say that the Suns are the worst as a favorite right now. On the road, they're 8-9 against the spread overall. Now, that's not a winning record, but just compared to their home record of 17 and uh, or whatever, 7-16, 7-16, their home spread record really bad. On the road, they've been kind of a 50-50 proposition a little bit. Katie here today. Nice to have you, Katie. All right. And Thomas says he doesn't, think the Pelicans at home. Yeah, the Suns, this has been a nice little resurgence here. I know that we've talked a little bit about the reverse chemistry a little bit at the Suns right now. I don't know. I don't want to be that guy necessarily, but you do have Kevin Durant on your team. But we always wanted Beal to maybe land somewhere where he could make an impact. All right, Brent's got his prediction out here. Chad says, "Hey, Chad, hello. Good morning, my friend. Thank you for stopping by." Says, Zion, just too much Zion, too much Zion train in this one. Yeah, and one thing, Suns kind of guard, you know, some positions pretty well. And I don't think necessarily it's a great matchup uh, for KD. If not going to bang out too much in there. Chad says the Pelicans to roll. Can't disagree here with Chad. I think I like it. I mean, that's the way I'm rolling. All right. Russell says under here. I can respect that, Russell. I don't know if I'm going to be with you on that. The Kenny Pelicans at home. A lot of Pelican support here, so probably going to roll Pelican. Well, here comes Perky now on the Suns. Oh, thanks, Kate. Appreciate that. All right. Yeah, Chad says, look, what? They just need a little more. The Suns get Beal in there, get him in the flow a little bit. Veteran player. I think he will fit in quickly and make it work. Gino, Pelicans, and over. Thank you, Perky, for your 2-pack of plays in there. All right. I'm going to make the call. And I like the consensus here in the chat with the Pelicans. I'll take the Pelicans with you guys. Jason likes them too. So, if anything, I think the Pelicans could be favored by maybe just a few more points, huh? It's not slight the Pelicans. I mean, they have the better record coming in. They're still cohesive, a decent team, good season, no doubt about it. Even with the Suns getting their big three, I mean, Beal, we all know he's a star, right? He's not, like the superstar category, right? He was always kind of a second fiddle guy, certainly, a major contributor. All right, let's take a look at another one now. These are good games here tonight. The Hawks and the Heat. Well, you talk about bad spread team. I don't know. Can we bet on each other? Can we bet on both teams not to cover? And could it happen that way with these two? I mean, you have Atlanta, the worst spread. We made it, we were joking there, certainly about Phoenix. Atlanta's not much better. They actually are the worst, right? 25% covers this season for Atlanta. 10 and 30 against the spread. That's really bad. That's really bad. 10 and 30, 6 and 15 against the spread on the road. Now, granted, um, they're really bad as a well, they're just bad. I was going to try to compare them when they're a home favorite or anything, but I don't even think it's worth it. Now, Miami, uh, they're not really as bad against the spread as I make them out to be, but they are as a at home 8 and 11 against the spread. A little bit their worst role of the two, but actually they've been coming on pretty well of late, covering some numbers. They of course lost the last game, that bizarre game where Toronto had just made that big trade and the Heat went into Toronto and were down 50-20 early on, and just it did not. They were just totally flat in that game. I mean, yeah, give Toronto plenty of credit, but when you come out looking like that, that sounds like flat to me. Before that, they had won 3 games in a row. It's Miami that has a 24-17 record coming in, and Atlanta just the opposite, 17-23. But Atlanta's won 2 straight, including a win, 106-104 versus Orlando. They didn't cover the spread in that one. They did blow out the Spurs, well, beat them by 10 as an 8.5 point favorite, but had failures before that. They lost to Washington and lost to Indiana. So a little bit of a slip up there. These two teams have already met twice this season. The Heat won them both and covered the spread. One at home by 9 as a 1 point favorite, and also one on the road as a 7.5 point dog, 117-109. Your comments are starting to roll in here on this one. And Russell giving us some. Maybe I'll peek at the injuries and see if there's anything else of note besides this. Trae Young, they're probable for Russell. I'm not quite showing him that. I do think it's probably pretty positive for Young. I mean, it is a major concern to get him in the lineup, but I'm have questionable right now, so we shall see. I would imagine even with Young, I mean, it could be an impact on the spread once he is announced in. I would imagine, however, this thing would not go anywhere south of 5 points once he is announced officially in. Chad says the Hawks just gift that keeps on giving. Here's the thing, right? In this one, maybe Chad and group, when you have a team that, especially one as well coached as Miami, coming off probably their low point of the season, that loss was pretty bad. Maybe a bounce back, even as a big favorite, but he says he's not going to lay 7 with it. I might just do it for you. Thomas says, don't forget about the other injuries on Atlanta. Well, you got Wesley Matthews out of this one. Russell says they'll cook him tonight. Perky says he's on the Heat. Salty went over in this one. Here's the thing, Salty, I'll say this about taking the over, and it's all the way down here. What it is, 227 right now. That's a really good number. This one was as high as 234.5 on the opening number. I did see a 234 at Bet Online yesterday on the earliest opening numbers at around 4 p.m. Eastern yesterday. This one opened 234, and now it's all the way down to 228. So you are getting the best of the number there, Salty. I still probably like it under. I probably should just give it out right now. It's such a crazy move, and well, if anything I'm guilty of, we've come on the short end of sticking by some of these big movers on the show here. I don't know. I feel like this one's going to be an under, but I think I'm disagreeing there with Salty. All right. And Kenny says coin flip. Jeff says the rent's too high. All right. Panger Life is here today. Hawks are trash. I'll take the under because of what I said about the big move. I just think that was an early release error there. It was quickly corrected. 90 minutes later, it was down to 232 at FanDuel. So it was market wide that this thing was definitely over in the 230s somewhere yesterday. Early this morning when I got up to check the line, it was about 228.5 or so. I saw it points bet. So, all right, let's call it under here with this one, Atlanta and Miami. But if I was, I'm looking at Miami here, quite frankly. Right, the Pacers will take on the Trailblazers. Okay, I jumped the gun on the Halliburton yesterday. Said, you know what? Watch out. Could be today. He tries to get back in there. Didn't need him. Did not need him. The Pacers rolled to victory in that one yesterday. Great job by the Pacers. We had them as a premium pick winner. And even in the write-ups mentioned that they were live probably to win the game as well. Now you got them on a back-to-back here up against the Blazers, and now they're favored. Makes it a little bit tough. The fact they're favored by 5 makes me want to think that maybe tonight's the night for Halliburton. Give him one more night. Still listed as questionable tonight in this one, but like I said, I thought he might try to actually make it into yet last night's game. So really looking forward to getting him back in there. And hey, maybe there is something to the fact that it's the second of the back to back now, and he is kind of rounding into shape to make his return. Maybe they could need him and use him tonight. Just a thought. There are some other injuries for the Pacers. Nesmith, questionable. Nemhard, questionable as well. And um, don't forget the other additions, certainly to the Pacers lineup here, but I don't think we're quite ready for. Let's see. Okay, I don't think we have just quite yet, right, with Siakam just yet. So, all right, looks like we have to maybe wait one more day. Come on, what's going on here with this? Have to finalize the deal, dot the I's and cross the T's. So that will be a little bit troublesome for Indiana personnel wise, I would think, in the numbers here, but they still got a great guard matchup, certainly against Portland. You'd think that McConnell and Buddy Hield certainly can have a pretty strong day, even if Halliburton doesn't get in there. It's probably a pretty good matchup for those guys. Sharp is out for Portland. Ayton game time decision here, it looks like, but I think he's going to be in. I think he's going to be in that one. Sharp questionable. Thibault probable. All right. So I think that updates it pretty well here. The Pacers 7-2-1 against the spread in their last 10 games, 12-9 against the spread on the road. Also 10-7-1 as a favorite this season. Portland, we know they've just 6-10 straight up at home here. They are coming off of a win. They ended a losing streak by defeating the Brooklyn Nets at home 105-103 as a 5.5-point underdog, right in line with this one. Pacers coming off that win over the Kings last night, 126-121. Your comments. Tim says Pacers to roll. Perky, Pacers money line. CTG says Pacers are bad on a back-to-back, and it gives them a little bit of caution. And Thomas wants me to sing New Edition, I think, maybe. Which song? If it is love, why do you feel this way? Why? Okay. Russell says after the road trip. It's a bummer. Interesting, he made the road trip, though. Thomas Bird. Okay, Chad says no, not permanently, right? Chad, I don't know. I think Halliburton is the flow. He dictates what goes on out there, doesn't he? All right. Brent said, the Blazers had their moment in the sun. That was a while ago now, I think. Oh, I never want to fade him, Chad. I mean, maybe I'm over the moon with Halliburton. Okay, Jeff needs to know the status first. Hi, Dre. Great to see you today. He'll take the Pacers in this one. And let's see. Tim Humphrey, Pacers team total over. He's like me, plays more totals than spreads. Actually, I play probably equal, but maybe I play him a little stronger. Totals a little stronger. Chad not liking the card, actually. All right. I'll make the call here in this game. I think I like both side and total, and I think I can actually find a premium here on this one. So, all right. And for me, I will take the Pacers to get it done on the road with or without Halliburton. Hey, once he's ruled in, if he is ruled in, I want to respect what Russell's saying. And I agree. It may be the end of this road trip. Look, you're favored against the Blazers here. You should win. It was a semi-serious strain, certainly, the way he was carried off. I know we've made fun of it a little bit, but you missed this many games. It obviously had some type of big time sprain. So, hello, Lucky Power. 10% better. Yeah. Oh, yeah. How about that? Great job there, Chad. To congratulate. Percent better on waiting for his son to be born. Congratulations. Percent better. Awesome. All right. Hey, let's see. Okay, I think that's it. I'll make the call. I'm taking the Pacers here on the road. I think I like it as an over, but we'll see on that one. Last up. All right, last up. Hey, the Lakers are playing pretty good again all of a sudden, huh? Why is this team like that? Why are they so drama-ish? Is it because of LeBron? Probably. The Lakers have won and covered 2 in a row now. They beat OKC, they beat Dallas. They're at home. They are starting to really become that more solid home team here. Brent says, I mean, LeBron's a diva. That's why. And the Lakers are a pretty big favorite here, actually, over the Nets. It almost seems like, maybe not. Come on, they're playing the Nets here. But remember, the Nets, we talked about all their spread success. They've given it all back. It's all gone. If you've been betting on the Nets all season and reaping in the profits early on like I was, if you kept betting them, this ain't so good anymore. And now they've covered just one of their last 10 games. They're 7-13 against the spread on the road. Lakers aren't anything special against the spread, but at least they're 11-12 against the spread at home. They do pretty well, certainly winning their home games. For Brooklyn, they're on a 4-game losing streak right now. Second game of this road trip, they just lost to Portland 105-103 as a 5.5-point favorite in that one. And, it is uncomfortable. Want to lay points with the Lakers. I mean, seems like they never cover any decent spread when laying it, but probably would look to the Lakers in this one, it feels like. Chad's and Nets are in a free fall. And Russell says maybe the reps are in the Lakers are in the refs' pockets or vice versa. Lakers by 15 here for Brent, but that looks like a pretty big under. Also, Kenny Jackson on the Lakers, percent better Lakers. Here's Dre. He likes the under in this one. Mr. Totals here. I'm not so sure on the total, actually. I'm just going to lay the Lakers. R. Thompson, Lakers. Look at this. It's a lot of Lakers love from you guys. Jeff on the Lakers. Tough to lay the Lakers, right? But the Nets somehow are broken. I don't want to lay the Lakers as a premium, I don't think. I'm just going to take the Lakers here on the show against the Nets. They already played their first meeting. Lakers won that one on the road early on, I believe, in the season, right? 129, 126. The Lakers win as a 5.5 point favorite, but did not cover. Okay, that looks like it's it for the NBA. We're on record there with our 7 games, so appreciate you guys and all of your picks and contributions. Be right back with college basketball in a moment. All right, and let's see. What did I see there? Who said the best over under pick, Panger Life, and best NBA? Well, I put 2 out there. Wow, I put 3 out there. I would say it's not the Hawks and the Heat because there's not enough. There's no value at all, but I mean, the amount of value in that game has been least. Okay, I would say the best over under pick for me today is Spurs and Hornets under. That's my best free show pick. My best totals are going to be on the website. It's the way I roll. I'm a tout. I'm selling picks on YouTube. Thanks, Russell. Appreciate you. All right, let's go to college. And appreciate it. I've picked out 4 games today. I skipped Georgetown and Xavier. I mean, it's a 13-point spread. I started with a good conference game, I think. And like I said, we're going to talk more about, some of the conferences that have impact games on the schedule. And we certainly do with this one in the MAAC today with St. Peter's going up against Fairfield at Mahoney. In this one, you've got, right now, St. Peter's 5-0, the Peacocks on the road as an underdog here. 2 of the, you got left LeFleur here for what is his name? Do better, Ramon. Do better. You only watch all these St. Peter's games on ESPN Plus. I can't even think of that guy's name. Latrell Reed. Of course, for St. Peter's leading the way. They're 5-0 in conference so far, consecutive wins, including the win against Manhattan last time out. Manhattan's pretty bad, but nonetheless, you got Fairfield here. Is a 3.5 point favorite, and the total definitely sitting at about 135 right now in this one. So interesting. You got the first place team here on the road as an underdog. These are different than, right, when you hear about all the talking heads and we start talking about ranked teams on the road facing unranked teams and all that. Well, here you have a conference team undefeated on the road. Fairfield, they're not, they're 4-2, 10-7 overall, but Quinnipiac is in second place currently in the standings. So St. Peter's comes in 9-5 overall, 7-2 against the spread on the road this season, but Fairfield has covered 8 of their last 10 games. St. Peter's is on a winning streak right now. They're pretty hot, as I said, having won now 6 in a row, 5 in a row against Division I teams coming in. Their losses, look, they lost to Seton Hall, they lost to Rutgers, but they have some disturbing losses in there too. They lost to Fairleigh Dickinson. That you don't want to necessarily do that, but that wasn't great. But maybe they've gotten it under control here for Fairfield. They've won 9 of their last 10 games currently coming in, so they're pretty hot. And a lot of their losses, they lost to Boston College to open the season. They were actually at one point 0-6 against Division I teams, but then went on a pretty big winning streak. Their conference loss was to Niagara by 24 points on the road last Friday. Fairfield, a pretty big over team this season, 13-4 to the over, 8 of their last 10 to the over, 4-2 to the over at home. St. Peter's, maybe they trend slightly to the under, but they are 5-4 to the over on the road. Fairfield has won the game. They beat Canisius 88-63 last time out as a 2-point dog on the road. The loss to Niagara, they were favored actually by 1.5 on the road and lost that game, as I said, by 24 points. All right, anything in this college game? The card gets started at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific with that Fairleigh Dickinson team going up against Stonehill. Looks like another goal here in the African Cup. In the African Cup of Nations, a big goal right here, really starting to put this one away. We see a second goal here for Cape Verde. They were favored here over Mozambique. We saw Gerardo's pick in there. Hanging on. All right, here we go with St. Peter's and Fairfield. I'm going to end up going over in this one at 135. This is probably my least favorite of the 4 pick-wise that I picked out. Picked the games first and then looked at it. And I'll go over 135 in this one. Mostly on Fairfield. They're at home. They're favored. I don't doubt that they can win this one. It seems like the Sharps are on Fairfield. Let's see if I didn't check the latest steam on this one. I don't know if there's been much to report. Looks like the Sharps may be favoring Fairfield and over. I'll go with over for sure. Give me the over. St. Peter's and Fairfield. I don't mean for sure like I'm locking it up, but Fairfield is a lock for Jeff. Hey, I don't mind the locks, right? Hey, you got a lock? I've got a lock for you. I've changed my tune on that. You know what I mean? They're like coming into the shows, oh, give me a lock. And the host says, well, we don't do locks here. Our games are, I get that. Let's have some fun. Give them a lock. St. Peter's here for Dre. Poppy says, give me the under in the first half.
Steam play.
I mean, here comes that steam after all. I hear it. I'll keep you updated if there are any moves. One just came in right now, I think, on Merrimack. That was that one that just came up. If you heard it in the background, there's Stephen Merrimack right now. It's not one of the games we're previewing, but if you're interested, Merrimack is getting hit right now. It's going up to 7.5 here. Merrimack, they were as low as 6.5. Here comes Merrimack at this point, taking steam right now. All right, let's keep it moving on here in college ball with another good game. Let's go out to the other Mac, to the Mac, not the Mac, but the Mac. Akron and Kent. Big game here, certainly for these two with the first place we got first place team here in this one with Akron, and it's only a pick. I mean, so that's now they've moved to 1.5, so maybe the uh, maybe the squares are waking up and seeing this one the way it's going currently right now with Akron. It was a pick, but now we're looking at it here probably at 1.5. I'll update the line here as a matter of fact in this one. But you do have Akron at 5-0, tied for first place with Toledo currently. Toledo also in action. Note that I didn't preview the Toledo game just because, look, in this one you have Akron at Kent. Okay, Kent is 2-3, and it's a pick'em. Okay, in the other game, Toledo also 5-0. They are going up against 3-2 Central Michigan on the road, and they're favored by 7.5. Now, granted, maybe just maybe when you look at where these two teams stand as far as their standing, maybe Toledo is a little bit better of a team. I don't know if they are. I mean, you got Freeman on Akron; he's a really great player, certainly. So, but just the fact that the steam came in on Kent State, but Akron's now the 1.5 point favorite. So I don't know what the sharps were thinking, the lines makers were thinking. Let me move it here. Akron minus 1.5. Update that line for sure. Total here is at, you know what? I am showing still some picks. Maybe I'll call it 1. I'll call it 1 and 143. There we go. All right. For Akron right now, they are 4-1 straight up on the road. They're also 10-0 straight up as a favorite. If they are the favorite now, the slightest of favorites maybe. Kent State just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. A little bit of concern here after a 3-game losing streak in conference play, and all of them as favorites. They lost 3 straight games as favorites before beating NIU on the road as a 4-point favorite. So they lost it at Eastern Michigan as a 10-point favorite, lost by 2. Were favored at home against Toledo by 3.5, lost that game by 14. They were favored by 7 at Central, lost that game by 15. So it's been a big disappointment right now for the Golden Flashes. And I didn't necessarily think I liked them. I was worried about when that steam came in on Kent. It really caught my eye, but I don't like them here on this game. I like Akron to keep it going. They're the team on a winning streak right now. I mean, having won all these conference games in a row, they covered the spread in 3 of them. The times they didn't cover the spread, they were favored against Western Michigan last out, laying 14 points, and they won by 11. And their other spread loss was a win at Ball, favored by 7.5, and they won by 4. So still a good start to the season here for Akron. Kent plays to the over for sure. 8-0 to the over at home. The Sharps appear to be on the over. I don't know if I trust the over necessarily, despite that trend this season. I'm not on the under yet necessarily. I'm going to take Akron as my pick to win on the road here at Kent. Jeff likes Akron. Miguel, hello, Miguel Vega. Nice to have you, sir. I don't know what that avatar is, but I have to look at it just to look very interesting. Justin on Kent, Peter Mack on Kent. A lot of Kent action here. I'm not on it. I'm on Akron. On the road here. Give me the zips. Zip it. That's what they say nowadays, right? All right. Thanks for your picks in that one. I know a little bit off the board here, but hey, look at our card today. Not great. Here's Indiana and Wisconsin. Now we're moving into some Big Ten action here tonight. Friday night in the Big Ten. And Wisconsin, a double-digit favorite here against Indiana. Indiana off that loss. Here, let me get the narrative right here in this one. Wisconsin coming in 13-4. Indiana off that loss to Purdue, 87-66. I thought they were going to hang in there with Purdue. Man, Purdue is inconsistent for a top team, aren't they? Indiana's been alternating really right now, home and away. Cover wins and losses basically, but for Wisconsin, they lost to Penn State last time out on the road by 4. They were a 5.5 point favorite on the road. Probably wasn't a best spot for them there necessarily. I would think with these two teams, I'm going to end up on the under here, quite frankly, at 143. I would think it'd probably be lower than this by now. 142.5, spread about 10.5 or 11. I get it. Indiana just 1-3 against the spread on the road. Wisconsin 7-4 against the spread at the Kohl Center so far. Last season, when these two teams met, it was 63-45. IU won the game at home as a 5.5 point favorite that did snap a winning streak by the Badgers in the series. And so far, I haven't seen much as far as reported steam on this game. As far as the side is concerned, I've seen a little bit of action on both ways. I saw the spread was as high as 11.5, and we're down to 10.5 at some spots, but certainly some 11s out there as well. In fact, mostly 11s, I would say at this point. Wisconsin coming in 13-4 overall. Indiana right there right now with a pretty good record of not a good record necessarily in conference. Let me get that current conference standings. Certainly right now, because Indiana is just 12-6 overall, 4-3 in the Big Ten right now, trailing Wisconsin atop the standings. Wisconsin a half a game ahead of Purdue at this point in the conference standings, and Indiana good for 4-3 is good for 5th place right now in the Big 14. Remember, I said yesterday, let's start changing the names of the conferences to the Big 13, whatever. What are they? 14, right? Yeah, 14. The Big 14. All right, I'm on the under here for sure. Probably a premium for me, but I don't know. I just can't get with the side. I want to give out a good play. I feel pretty strong about this one, actually. Here's Dre on Indiana. And Shram says Wisconsin here. Maybe to continue to rebound a little bit, meaning rebound and get a win, maybe get a blowout win here, and has Woodson, lost some things here with his club. Poppy says, give me Indiana first half. Thanks, Thomas. If you're out of here or if you're already left, I guess it doesn't do any good, but appreciate you as always, sir. I mean, remember, Indiana's lost to some pretty good teams this year. Connecticut, Auburn, Kansas, Purdue. Those are nothing to be too disappointed with, right? Yeah, lost to Nebraska, lost to Rutgers, the 2 conference losses already. So when you're Indiana, you don't want it necessarily going like this. But again, 4 losses to pretty solid opponents. I've got the under. All right. One more in college ball tonight, and we're going to my favorite conference, the Mountain West. Taking a look at UNLV and Colorado State in this one. Hey, UNLV, have they been kind of a surprise so far a little bit, given their season thus far at 9-7 and some wins lately? They beat Boise. They beat New Mexico. Beat Boise on the road last time out. And big upset there, 68-64 for UNLV. And UNLV 2-2 in conference. Colorado State 2-2 in conference as well. Isaiah Stevens, the star, of course, for the Rams. And Colorado State 9-6 against the spread overall. UNLV 3-1 against the spread on the road. 5-2 against the spread as an underdog this season for the Rebels. You guys got anything on this? I'm pretty sure I'm ready to just make a call and get on with the hockey at this point. Like, maybe not the best college card here tonight, but I think Colorado State's going to roll them, actually. I kind of want to use it as a premium and maybe just take the under here as my play on the shows. I want to go under. Not a lot. UNLV's gone under in 9 of their 14 games. Gone over. I'm sorry. UNLV's gone over in 9 of their 14. I'm favor the under. I'm just saying UNLV has not really been an under team this season. The CSU may be a little bit more of an under team, but they are 6-3 to the over at home. Now, these two teams did go over in both of their meetings last season, including the game here at Colorado State, which was won by UNLV. The teams won on each other's home court last season. UNLV won here 83-71 as a 3-point dog. Meanwhile, CSU won on the road 82-81 at UNLV last year as a 5.5-point underdog. But I think the two teams is a little bit different this year as far as where they stand. That's made Colorado State the pretty significant favorite. I'll take Colorado State as a more solid play for me in this one. I think that maybe feels like it was going to be a premium for me. I don't know if I can get on the total, but I'll go with Colorado State. I want to have some winners on this card. I really feel solid about Colorado State tonight. And Chino's on Colorado State as well. Justin on Colorado State. And Jeff Schramm, Colorado State as well. All right. And Jeff has a prop as well. UNLV's Rodriguez over 12.5 points. Luis Rodriguez. All right. And that's it for the college action here. I'm going to get to the NHL in just a moment. All right, I can throw up a little commercial now if I want. Maybe when I want to start to organize my notes and get ready for the next sport instead of just staring at the screen. It's just a 4-game NHL card tonight. We're going to make it under 2 hours easy here today. In the matchup here, get started with the Florida Panthers hosting the Minnesota Wild. Big favorite here for the Panthers in this one, $1.80 or so. And the total 6/20. Let me make sure of that total now and see what's going on. Right now, in fact, I think it's starting to go down a little bit, maybe 6/15 in a few spots, but I think $1.80 might be the most fair price. I'm showing $1.90s in a lot of spots, quite frankly, right now. I got a little cocky last night. We tried to take Minnesota. Hey, we had some pretty strong winners on the ice last night. I had over in St. Louis and Washington as my premium pick winner. We also gave out under Avalanche and Bruins here on the show. We had the Flyers as a premium pick last night against the Dallas Stars. We gave out the Canadiens and the Senators over here on the show yesterday. All right, let's take a look here with the Wild going up against the Panthers in this one. And get your picks ready as well for the 4-game card. All right, the Panthers come in 27 wins so far this season. Minnesota, 18 wins so far on the campaign. You got the Panthers coming in off of 3 consecutive losses at this point. People talking up the Panthers right now as one of the hottest teams in the league, maybe even starting to get into the conversation as a Stanley Cup championship contender at this point, but they did just lose 3 consecutive home games. Kind of not, I'd say the hype had already started before that, certainly with this great record that they're showing at this point of the season. Cape Verde adds a 3rd goal here in the match against Mozambique. But now they've lost 3 straight games and all at home to New Jersey, to Anaheim, to Detroit. Wouldn't say it's probably a big problem at this point. They're still, on a pretty strong run still at this point. Minnesota hasn't been looking that great. In fact, they're just 7-12 on the road this season. 13-6 is Florida at home this season. On the puck line here, where you're talking about some pretty even moneyness. Well, no, Minnesota minus $1.50-ish or so. I mean, I know Minnesota's on a back-to-back. I kind of want to try them again, though, here against Florida today. And maybe I'll just take them on the puck line. Florida's having some struggles. I'm going to take Minnesota plus 1.5. I flopped with them yesterday. I know. Look, they got off to a decent start against the Lightning yesterday, even led early. The Lightning ended up blowing them out. And obviously, there still some injuries for Minnesota. Yes, they got their star back, but now, they've lost Spurgeon out for the season. Right now, Foligno is doubtful for this one. So there are definitely some factors here for, not for the faint of heart here if you're going to take Minnesota. But Barkov questionable for Florida tonight. Bob is confirmed in goal here tonight for the Panthers. We're not sure about Fleury at this point, but we'll see with Bobrovsky back in there. He's allowed 3 or more goals in each of his last 4 games, and just an 89% save percentage in those 4 games. But Minnesota's been shut out in 2 of their last 5. However, in their last game, they did, before that crushing defeat last night, 7-3 to Tampa, they did beat the Islanders 5-0 to stop the losing streak. So I'm going to try Minnesota tonight, minus $1.50 on the puck line. Maybe I like the total better. I'll just say, Trey says, give me Florida in the over. Salty says Florida in regulation. And Jeff talking about that total in the Seattle game. I had it. Yeah, I did too, Jeff, and it stayed under 4-2. We just had that one. And here's R. Thompson. Looks like we're on the same page there, R. Thompson. Next up, Devils and Blue Jackets. The Devils come in 22-17-2. The Blue Jackets come in with a record of 14-21-8 in this one. Right now, it looks like the Devils are the favorite. Yeah, that line is just wrong. Sorry about that. Should have been 150. Maybe even 155 now. 6.5 over 35, man. Big pressure here to the over today. It was never 105, by the way. That was a typo there with the Devils, so apologize for that. But on the road here, $1.55. Devils 13-7 on the road this season. Blue Jackets 9-12 at home. Look, we've been on this Blue Jackets team, it seems like, all season on these puck lines right now. They're 26-14 on the puck line. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a tougher game for me, I would think. Here, let's see here. Okay, thought we were getting some injury information or goalie information. That's not the case. Let's proceed here. So New Jersey, they are terrible though on the puck line as a favorite, just 10-22, coming as a puck line favorite. Now, Blue Jackets $1.85. Even I don't know if I can get too mixed up with that one, man. We've been riding with them so much on these puck lines, and it does feel like it will be a one-goal game here, but who wants to lay $1.85 necessarily with that? All right. New Jersey's lost 2 straight losses to Montreal and to Boston. They did beat Florida, but they lost to good teams, Tampa Bay and Vancouver. The Blue Jackets, of course, did just beat red-hot Vancouver 4-3. Before that, it was 3 consecutive losses. So, all right. And this one, man, I really want to take the Blue Jackets on this puck line, but it's just so big. But the options are just, I don't know, they don't feel like great options necessarily today with this game. Maybe I just have to take the total. If it's going to keep going over 6.5 over 35, maybe I could just take a little bit of value with the under here. Now, these two teams are definitely teams that are playing to the over for the most part. I mean, the teams are a combined 51-35 to the over this season. New Jersey's 13-8 to the over on the road. Blue Jackets 24-16 to the over as an underdog. Now, I will say Blue Jackets just 13-12 to the over at home. And I'm going to take the under. I'm going to go under. If I can get a little plus money here, confidence level low on this game. Probably the least favorite, I would think. Man, that Blue Jackets. Privately, I may play the puck line. I'm not going to give it out on the show at $1.85. Here's over for our tops. Niagara and Ryder getting hit to the under right now in college basketball. Just to mention here, those 147s are turning into 145.5 already. Big move, Niagara and Ryder under. Jeff goes over in the New Jersey-Columbus game in this one. This is Blue Jackets for our tops, I'm pretty sure, unless he's just rescinding it, but all right. These two teams have already met 3 times this season. New Jersey won 2 games, including a matchup here in Columbus, 6-3 back in December. They also won the last meeting 4-3 back in New Jersey. Columbus won the first one 2-1 back on November the 24th. I'll take the under. Let's go Red Wings and Hurricanes here now on Friday night. Got a $2 favorite here with Carolina at home against Detroit. Both teams, similar records. That's a pretty big number, certainly considering where these teams currently stand. Yeah, maybe Detroit has had a few issues here of late, but man, there's got to be some type of consideration to Detroit. They've won 3. They're not struggling. They've won 3 in a row. Who's writing this script? They beat Florida. They beat Toronto. They beat the Kings. They're beating some of the better teams in the league right now. The Detroit Red Wings on the road. Meanwhile, Carolina lost to the Kings. That doesn't happen very often anymore. My Kings struggling, but Kings beat them 5-2. They have 3 days off here coming in. They had 1-2 before that over Pittsburgh, over Anaheim. Carolina 7-2-1 their last 10 games, I believe, currently. No, I don't want to. I'd have to look. Let me get that right. Well, let's just go. So they're 12-4 straight up at home this season. Detroit 12-9 on the road, a pretty good road team considering right now. They're also, let's see, you mentioned that. Let me check the total on the heads up. I want to check up the heads up between these two. I know it's a non-conference, but Carolina won the meeting. Let's see, the last meeting, the other meeting this year, 2-1. Carolina won at Detroit. Okay, that's what I was wondering. So Carolina did win at Detroit in the first meeting this season. All right. You guys got anything here? Detroit and Carolina. Let's take a look. A few comments. Detroit puck line here for Salty. Gino, Detroit puck line. Oh, but he also likes the. Oh, that was the other game. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, how can I resist? How can I resist not taking Detroit on the puck line here? And Walking Spotted Bear, nice to see you. Hello. I mean, I'm curious what you're saying here, Walking Spotted Bear. You saw legendary handicapper Steve Fezzik on the Bet US show. You still don't know how to take that for him. I could use a further elaboration. I like listening to Steve Fezzik. I agree with almost everything, but I do think he does take some positions as a attention seeker a little bit that I would definitely take up and debate with him on if I were to meet him. But I do appreciate and admire Mr. Fezzik. So, okay. Anyways, let's keep it rolling here. I'll take the Red Wings in this one. Last game, Islanders and Blackhawks wrap up the NHL schedule early at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific today with the Islanders a 240 favorite on the road. I think it's gone down. Let's see. No, 240, 250 at DraftKings, 250 at Bovada, 6 under here, minus 20 or so currently. And, well, it looks like, you can still kind of, who's going to score here? It looks like in this game. That might be the way that I would look at it. Got two teams that maybe produce quite a bit. Islanders have more overs on the road than unders, that's for sure, but I don't know if this is going to have a lot of scoring here in this one. The Blackhawks are 16, 26-1 to the under. They're coming off a blistering offensive performance yesterday, 3-0. The loss against Buffalo, and the Blackhawks score lines kind of look like, these 3-0, 2-1, 3-1, 2-1, 2-1. I mean, they're not scoring. They're putting enough effort on defense to kind of remain in the games a little bit. But man, they are not scoring with or without Bedard. It feels like now, and certainly we would like to have Bedard come back as soon as he can, but still going to be a while at this point, and Blackhawks have some injury concerns coming in, especially on defense. So you got Murphy questionable, and Zaitsev questionable as well. Some issues there. Islanders come in with just an 8-10 record on the road this season. They're 19-15 overall. Chicago pretty bad. We know 13, 30-2 this season, mostly as an underdog. And I don't know if I can even take the side here. I like the under for sure. I'd probably like it as a premium, but I'll just give it out here on the show because I don't know if I want to get mixed up with the side here. I would guess the Islanders can win. I would have probably only take the Islanders. The Sharps are on the Islanders. I promise you that. Even with the perception. I was watching a show last night. I was in the chat with some of my friends over there talking about the Sharp action. This is our last game, so just have a little philosophy here, right? I like to say I know who the Sharps are on. I don't know who the Sharps are on. I am speculating who the Sharps are on. I don't have Sharps calling me all day long saying, we're on this. I'm just looking at the markets. I'm trying to perceive in my mind when you see teams with winning records taking action, right? Things like that. So when I say I know who the Sharps are on, I'm just giving my opinion. It's up to you to determine if my opinion, if this is why you're watching me and wonder when I say those things. Maybe you're just here for the stats. That's fine too. The picks, whatever. I like to do market handicapping, and that's what I specialize in. Some people say you can't. It's noise. It's non-existent. I start without the numbers. Like I said, I look at the market first, and then I dig into the numbers on those moves. So when I speculate who the Sharps are on, it's up to my audience, the 60 people in live, the 500 views. If they care about that sort of thing, maybe we'll never grow. We'll just be these people that enjoy watching me. I enjoy interacting with you guys in the chat, getting your plays. Hey, believe me, when I go and I'm just making a play to watch a game and I want to gamble a little bit, and I said, well, you know what? The chat had this. I'll go with my chat. They're like me. If they're here watching me, they must be kind of like me. So when I give out my speculation about who the Sharps are on, might be up to you to determine, is Ramon right this time? Is it wrong? Are they really? And to me, the Sharp, you know who Sharps are? Sharps are winning sports bettors in general. So, all right. Thanks, you guys, for a great show today, and we'll catch you tomorrow. We're going to have a ton of college basketball tomorrow, in addition to our big NFL games, certainly, and we'll have NBA and NHL to talk about as well, maybe even a little bit of tennis. Haven't had much time to talk tennis or golf this week, but appreciate you guys. An hour and 40 will do it for me today. Don't forget, join Tony T here on the channel, the drive-through, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. Tony and the Pick Dogs crew get you ready for the primetime action, get you out of there before the top of the hour with those primetime games. Check it out here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, the 40,000 subscriber juggernaut. Catch you back here with more Morning Steam tomorrow and every day here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Never miss a day here on the network. All right, you guys. Thanks a lot. Catch you tomorrow. More Morning Steam, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Who can it be showing up with Tony T? Yes, Ramon SEO. To the double TV funnel these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing now. It's plain to see. The morning scheme is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game is sort of a freight train. It's been reported bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and listen to the picks. And it goes a little something like this.